We're going to have a conversation with one of our students that at 18 years old just had an over $50,000 day. Yes, you heard me right. Over $50,000 at 18 years old trading futures. He's been part of my mentorship for about 8 to 10 months now. Has done well over six figures in payouts. Dropped out of college now. He's going to start traveling the world and he's completely crushing it. We're going to dive into his mindset, how he trades, and everything in between, what his goals are. And it's really motivating, really awesome to have this conversation with some of the students, especially the younger ones, because it shows what you can do. It doesn't matter on your age, it doesn't matter where you're in your life or where you can get to with your goals. Welcome back to the channel. Today we got a really cool student interview with my boy MGD. Is that how you say your full name? Like, what's your full name? No, right? Like, it's like an acronym.
It's spelled weirdly, but it's pronounced differently. It's pronounced Majid, so Majid. That's how you would pronounce
Like
it.
Magic, like Orlando Magic, like that.
Pretty much like that, but with a D at the end instead of the C.
And wait, and how old are you, right? Because you're pretty young.
I'm 18 right now, yeah.
18 right now? Fuck. And how long you been trading for?
Well, I've been learning for like 4 to 5 years,
Or
but obviously you can't actually trade when you're under the age of 18. So a year ago, I started under my brother's account, so he would give me his like information. I would use that for the prop firms and everything, and I would actually trade with that. So I've been getting payouts for basically basically almost 2 years now because I turned 18 this early February. So it's almost 2 years worth of actually trading and getting payouts for it.
and how long you been trading for? Sorry, not trading for, but like why did you get into trading? Like how'd you get into it? Was it just like social media? Was it like like a family friend or something? Your brother?
It was basically social media. So essentially, throughout the past 5 years, since the big lockdown and everything, everyone was stuck in their house. I'm not sure if I can even say it, if you get copyrighted or something.
Nah, I think it's good now. I think now you can say. I remember back then, people used to worry about like seeing COVID and shit. I'm like, I think it's fine now.
So ever since COVID and everything, essentially I've been working on other business models, just trying to get an income in, and some of them have worked and they were doing good, but at the end of the day, what most people don't realize is as soon as you have a business, you do have people that you need to manage, you have employees and every other person that you need to manage. But when it comes to trading, you don't have to worry about nobody else, and it all just depends on you and just if you follow your own rules. So that's why I essentially jumped into trading full time because I don't have to worry about nobody else. It all just matters on how I do it.
And are you going to school now? Like you going to college or are you just like trading?
Nah,
No.
I graduated high school in June basically, and ever since I haven't been in college.
Well, what did your family say about that? What they like? What have they said?
They're always iffy about it.
But they've been kind of supportive.
And I wouldn't say that, but like, that's just how it is in the beginnings until you eventually show them into the future. But that's just sometimes you do what you got to do. You see
Yeah,
your
you put your foot down.
yeah, you do. You see your vision. You can't let nobody interfere in it.
Do you show them like when you get a payout or whatnot? Like you been like showing them? Like you recently had a really big day. Like almost was on
My
Friday you had what was it, like 56,000 in a day on
pretty
like
much.
your funded TPT funded.
Yeah. So one of them was actually my live personal
Mm-hmm.
account. So it was one of my personal accounts. Two of them were live TPT funded. So after the 90% profit split, it was like 33.
And did you show that to your family? Like this is why I'm not gonna call it. No, you don't plan to.
Oh, for some reason I didn't. I just kept it all. I'm just waiting on it to actually come through because I'm pretty sure they don't give out payouts on bank holiday, which is today.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully it'll be by tomorrow.
Yeah, and then maybe then they'll really that's how it started with me too. Like especially with my dad, he's like all of a sudden he's like, oh, I want to learn about trading. After he was like telling me, you gotta stick to school, you gotta you gotta get a job. But it's how it goes with everybody.
Yeah.
But were you from you speak perfect English, but I thought you're not from America, right? Where you from?
Ethnicity wise, I'm Arab. I'm from Yemen, but I was born and raised in America.
Oh, you were raised in America. So you live in America? Where you live?
I live in Michigan.
Oh, Michigan. But you're going you told me you're going on a trip to the Maldives. It's a
Correct.
fucking long ass flight, bro. I've been to the Maldives one time and it was a long ass flight, dude. Let me tell you.
It's worth it.
So is that what you're gonna be doing now? Like just traveling and trading, like kind of dream? Go to
So,
Bali, go to.
yeah. I was thinking for possibly moving to like Puerto Rico or Dubai or something, but like just to evade the taxes and everything. But obviously not now. It's pretty soon. I feel like I just maybe a year or two more just to secure something.
How like total payouts have you gotten? Like I don't know if you want to say the number, or just give a range. You don't have to say the exact number.
well over six figures, I'd say
Well over
that.
6 figures. Fuck, that's and dude, if I'd seen like 20,000 and 18, I would have been geeking out, dude. I had to join the army just to get $20,000 in bonus, which I got like 5 years later.
Yeah. How was the army though?
He was good, man. Like I think it teaches a lot, especially like I never been like on my own, and it's
Yeah.
like it's pretty hard. You get to talk to all this, you meet people from all different parts of the U.S., different experiences. Like I thought it was a good experience, especially like if I didn't know what I was gonna be doing, and he teaches you, like some
Correct.
nice discipline. I was fit, so
It teaches.
I enjoyed my experience. A lot of people like have different experiences. I liked mine. I think you learned a lot. I think it translates pretty good to trading, especially if you don't have like discipline and things like that. What about you for like your trading? Like, how'd you like? Were you like just off the rip? You're like, I'm doing good. Like you were profitable off the rip, or like how did you develop your strategies?
Never, never. So essentially, when I first started learning, I'm pretty sure everyone goes through that phase of just watching a YouTube video and then you automatically just try out that strategy the next day and then you just go for it. You keep switching. Like you don't have a basis or a baseline or someone to follow. So that's how I was for essentially like a year or two. And then I went into TGR's boot camp. I learned that. I learned basically all of his strategy. I learned how to basically how the essentially like the keywords, like you see like fair value gaps, all these
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
like
like the
all
basic concepts.
yeah, I learned all the terms, but I didn't know how to apply it all to like into one strategy and to learn how to become profitable. That's until I joined the mentorship, the BGC with you, and then you're like essentially what happened is when you could always there's always I'm not saying it's impossible, but like you can learn how to trade and do everything all on your own, but it makes it a million times easier if you have someone to follow and you have like that mentor to look up to and they tell you what to work on or how to do a certain thing. So that essentially sped up my process when I joined it, and then it was like this coaching mentorship with you and everything, and it helped me learn way much faster than a lot of other people I guess wouldn't have learned. And essentially from there, that's when I started becoming profitable.
No, it's really big because I learned everything on my own, like on YouTube, and I was one of those people who's like I'm not investing in myself, and like
Yeah,
it did work out in the end, but it took me like 4 to 5 years. Well,
yeah,
for you, it's like you did it in what was it, like 2 years? Like, well, like you actually been trading 2 years. I was trading like kind of off the rip,
yeah,
uh, and like I guess for me it's like I never found someone that like I really was like really liked, and like I didn't buy the bannership. I just also the community was way smaller. But if I that's been like one of my biggest regret if I could go back is like I wish I could just like invest into something that was good and try to be profitable much faster, because I was like if I was able to do it on my own, imagine I had like some good fucking guidance, I would have done it like much faster and not gone through as much fucking losing,
yeah.
especially back then because I had to use live accounts. Like there wasn't really platforms were really anything, so I was
Mhm.
like working, deposit money in the live account, Robinhood, Thinkorswim, and then just losing it again. For now, so you have a live account. Like when did you start a live account? Because you're not only doing prop firms now. Like you
No,
started with like a couple prop firms getting payouts, and then you started live. How's
correct.
that
Yeah,
process?
I had I was getting payouts from normal prop firms, Apex, Take
Yeah,
Profit Trader, Alpha, all these. So I would secure the payouts from them, and then essentially I would do like a budgeting strategy where like you would set some aside for taxes. Obviously, I don't want to get cooked at the end of the year, and
yeah.
then you
A lot of
would
people don't think about that, bro. They get their first payout, spend it
exactly.
all, and they're like, "Wait, what? I gotta pay taxes." Yeah, you
So
do.
I would set that money aside. Then essentially what I would have left over, I would put like majority of it into my own live funded, and then the rest I would obviously keep because you every now and then you do need to spend money on yourself. That way you'd actually feel motivated to keep going and you'd see the fruits of your own labor. So most of the money, however, I would put into my own live funded. That way, like every trade that I would have, like it's 100% profit at the end of the day. I have that 80-90% profit split, and it doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but over time, when you do get into the bigger trades, that 10-20% is a lot of money to
Yeah.
some people, and it does show and pay off at the end. So every basically, I would get payouts. I would always copy trade, so I would just get as many accounts as I can, whether that's from Apex or everything. I would put them into like all into a trade syncer or something to just sync all my trades together, and I would just try to secure as much uh, profits as I can. That's what most people don't realize is they would try building this massive buffer on a prop firm account, but they don't realize that it's not their money, it's not true money. So as soon as you see the money, you might as well take it. That's always the rule that I've had and helped me secure into getting into my own live funded. And then, from Take Profit Trader, they eventually, if you keep your live account or your pro account with them. Eventually, they'll take you to a pro plus, and that's the live funded. So I just have two of those right now. I have my own live funded, and then I have just a bunch of other prop firms just to keep, just in case, because why not?
And do you have any like goals with your like where you trying to scale to? Like, do you want to have like 20 plus accounts you're copy trading, or like what's your goals for the end of the year? Because what are we in midway through October till for December at least? Are you do you plan to size up now that you hit like one really big payout, or do you actually plan to do the opposite? Like, you know what, I got this huge day. I'm assuming it was the biggest day of your career, right? From when we spoke, yeah, of course, yeah. Or now you're going on vacation. You're going to just like chill, not trade, or like which way are you going about it? You get more
Uh,
aggressive.
so right now, with my personal live account, I feel like I'm gonna keep the normal risk because I'll be honest, with that trade that I hit on Friday, it wasn't like obviously everyone knew it was probably most likely because of Trump. That's why I had the
Were you
huge.
short before he nuked the market? Yeah.
I was short basically when everyone was trying to long for all
I
time high.
remember in the stream on Friday, I was like, I like shorts. Everybody's like, no, long to optimize. I'm like, all right, you guys do you, bro. I'm shorting. I had a short 1055, bro. What killed me is I had a hard TP at the low day, and I
Oh,
couldn't change it because he was like, if that one candle just started nuking, and I wasn't fast enough to change it. So like, I still did like 8,000, but I'm like, fuck, I missed so much profit.
so for my prop firm accounts, I had a hard TP as well,
Mm-hmm.
but for my live accounts, I actually did it, and that's why I ended up hitting that big
Huge
trade.
trade.
My entry was actually a bit higher as well. It was when we had that last pump towards all-time highs, and everyone was trying to long, and they were thinking we are gonna hit it. That's when I shorted because there was like breaker blocks and a bunch of order blocks there. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna lose anything from a few points of a loss. I might as well short it. So I went normal position and I shorted all the way at the top, and I just let it run for like.
Tell me a little bit about your trading style. Like, do you like to hold your trades more? Are you scalping? Like, maybe a little bit of a hybrid. Like, where it's like, what's your strategy? Like, break it down.
So in the beginning, I was always sort of like a scalper because I would just be worried and I would just try to secure as much profits as possible. And because I wasn't as good with my patience back then as I am now. So essentially, nowadays for my strategy at least, I would have my live accounts because there's no drawdown or anything. I would just let them run while I'm on break even. So I would move my stop loss to break even. I would just allow them to run as much as possible to secure as much profits as I can. But for my prop firm accounts, I would definitely take partials and full TPs on my prop firm accounts. However, my personal live accounts, I'll just let them run and I'll move my stop as we hit profits. So if
Yeah,
we hit,
I do think it's important, right? I think a lot of people are like so like you mentioned it, scared when they're in a trade. They're just cutting it so early, and I feel like
yeah,
it's ruining your one risk reward and just like how much money you're gonna make because you can't hold it. I feel like it's a huge thing not a lot of beginners understand. To like, you know what, I'm happy with $200, $400, wherever it is. But
yeah,
it's not about that singular trade. It's important, but it's like the long term of you doing that every single trade. What you
sure.
thought was gonna be a 3 hour, now it's a 1 hour. And like, you're not really actually following your strategy like that.
Exactly. They don't follow their risk to reward, and then like they'll win the trade. Like let's say they'll win three trades in a row, and then they have that one loss, and it'll just blow their
Yeah,
entire
yeah,
account. And
which I see that we see that all the time.
all the time, yeah.
And what about when it comes down to actually like, your technicals? Like, what are you looking at? Are you like 15 minute and above? Like, what time frame do you like to use?
So every day, don't I always have a saying, don't ever just wake up and go straight to the charts. Like I just wake up at least 30 minutes before market opens at 9:30. You get your mind clear, and then I'll just chart basically all the high draws of liquidity. For me, that's basically on the daily, the 4 hour and the 1 hour. Like usually it's session highs like London and Asia highs and lows, or previous days, or if we have news highs and lows. Those are usually my draws of liquidity, as well as something that you teach in the mentorship is golden pocket. Most people, they tend to forget about that, but I would draw the golden pocket range for the whole day from that range. And usually most people, what I've noticed the past few weeks at least is that golden pocket is usually inside of the previous day closing price, and there's usually like a rejection
It's
or
kind of
some or
reaction from it.
a price or a reaction or a price just draws towards that zone. So I would draw everything out beforehand before market opens, and then I would scale down to the 15 and 5 minute, try to wait to see how price reacts inside of those zones, and then let's say we have a, a, a break of structure on the 5 minute or 15 minute. I would scale down to the 1 minute and try to find an entry off of that just to catch the position.
Yeah, so even today, the if you look, if you feel about the top of that Friday move, that huge move down, the exact top of today was right at GP. And that's where we
Yeah,
sold off like three,
I
four
was
hundred
at
points from. And then from
okay.
the pre-market, if you look at the pre-market gap up, the bottom of that was the fucking GP. So like it's definitely a good level to mark out. Like I think the main issue people make with that is they just enter off of it. But like what you do and what I do is like, okay, that's your level. Once we hit it and we see a reaction, and we scale down to the 1 minute, the 5 minute, and then actually find an entry model, right?
Correct.
Combining that high time frame key levels with the lower time frame like entry models. A lot of people are doing either one or the other. Like they'll mark out a good high time frame level, but doesn't mean it needs to be respected, and then they just enter and then they lose, or they're looking for these low time frame entries without actually having anything on the higher time frame, and the low time frame entries don't enter. People understand it's like you gotta treat both of them at the same time.
Correct.
How was September for you? A lot of people have been complaining, like price action was choppy, it was low, like
Yeah. So September is my best month
to date.
to date. Yeah, 100%.
And how
I
much is that? Or like just give a range. I don't wanna like pocket check too hard, but like your range
it
is
was,
like 30,000, more than 30, less than 50,
it was over six figures.
over
So it
six figures. Wow,
yeah.
that's
So
insane.
I'm pretty sure for you as well. We only had like one or two losing days in all of September.
Yeah, no, September was really good. October started off a little rough for me, but
Same.
September was awesome. Like, like you said, I'm like, people were complaining. I'm like, I'm doing really good, and it just goes like, people have different strategies, different ways to trade. Like it's just you need to adapt to the markets. Where you might think is like not a good PA today, someone just had their best day. Like every single day, I think about this all the time. Every single day was somebody's best day ever and someone's worst day ever. So it's like you can never really fully blame the PA.
Exactly. Yeah. It all just depends on strategies, and there's no 100% working strategy.
Yeah,
You're
of
never
course.
all the time, and that's just when your risk to reward comes into play and helps you stay profitable in the long term. That's when you need to focus on your profits and securing as many profits. But yeah, September it was my biggest month to date, and then same with me. I had a rough start to the beginning of October. I had a losing week, I'm pretty sure, and then yeah, I just had my biggest day on Friday. So pretty much
Exactly. You never. It's funny. I always tell people that like you never really know. Like for example, September was like really hot, was killing it, and then you would write it. You're pretty much like riding up here. Then October comes, and you're like, fuck, you get humbled again, and then
yeah.
you have another fucking amazing day. Like that's the roller coaster that trading is. It's never really like just steady. Like okay, I'm doing really good September, October. And I'm like it's just gonna be always up. No, you go up, come down a little bit. It's like a chart. You pull back, you make
Yeah.
new highs. You make a higher low. Like it usually works like that. But it's pretty funny. A lot of times like you'll have like your worst week and then you'll go into like your best day, or like you'll have your best day and then you'll go into your worst week. It's really funny how that psychology like works for people. There's definitely like something there that like more that that's some kind of psychology thing in there, but I don't know what it is exactly. If you were starting over with trading, or like if you go back and be like, yo, give yourself some advice. You're just about to start trading. Like, what's the advice you give somebody, or somebody that's like looking to get started, or like they've started and have not gotten results, like something that you felt like was like a click for you, a game changer that like turned it around for you.
Yeah. So you're asking for advice for trading, basically, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So for that, I would say, obviously, we already said have a mentor to guide you along the way. That's obviously my number one thing, but I already had one. But I'd say for something that I did incorrectly in the beginning that I would work on, I would most definitely be just follow your rules, like your discipline. Like that's gonna pay off like way much more in the long term. And especially, I say don't over leverage. Like for some people, they'll find a prop firm account that's like $40, for example. Like let's say Apex, right? And they'll think, okay, I'm just gonna go full port it all. But what they don't realize is when you have that mentality, it's not just gonna happen once or twice. What happened to me in the beginning, especially, is I would do that time and time over again, and then it eventually ended up leading to some debt, which I've already paid off, obviously. But when you think of just full porting an account, it's gonna stick to you and into your mindset to many other accounts that you buy into the future, and then you're just over time, it's gonna add up definitely that $40, and then it's gonna turn to thousands of dollars that could affect you more into the future. So I would say treat a prop firm account just as if it's your own personal money, right? That way you can actually secure profits. And then obviously the eval stage, I go personally a bit heavier just to pass faster just because I have the more capital now to do that. But in the beginning, I would say take your time. Don't feel like you're in the rush to, you're not going to become profitable in a day or a month, possibly maybe not even in 6 months. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you can it probably won't happen. So don't feel like you're in a rush, like, oh, this one trade is gonna make me profitable or anything. It's probably not. You just gotta give it time, and then over a course of months and years, it's gonna show.
No, I think it's important you say that. I think like people don't realize that you're like, okay, I'm just gonna full pour now. It's $40. I don't care, but they don't realize that subconsciously you're building like those habits, and then you start full porting like without even realizing it. Like you're thinking like, okay, I'm just trading on my own, and then you start, you build bad habits, and it's that's how bad habits happen. Like let's say you go eat fast food one day, you're like, hey, I'm gonna go McDonald's today. It'll be like a one-time thing. Next week you go twice, and before you know it, you make that like a habit. So I think it's really important to like watch those habits, especially early on. And I tell people this all the time whenever like again a new student, if they have zero experience in trading, it's actually like those are the best students that have the best results right away. Because they have no they don't know the bad habits yet. They don't have those bad habits. But the guys is like I've been trying to trade for 5 years and I'm not profitable yet. I'm still struggling. Like they have 5 years of things they were doing wrong, which now they magically have to change in a few months and like not think how they've been doing it for 5 years and think this new way that I'm trying to teach them. And those have like the hardest, that's the hardest people to like coach and mentor, because it's a lot of work. And like on my drill sergeant used to always say, like perfect practice makes perfect. So like when you're back testing, when you're paper trading, when you're using your pro forma accounts, especially in the beginning, treat it like you would as a normal account. Because you're
Correct.
practicing, yes, and there's not a lot on the line, but if you want to actually get good and get good results, you have to make sure that practice is actually like you're getting something out of it. It's like if not, you're just wasting time. If you're just there like full porting up and down, what's the benefit of that after all? Like you're wasting your own time as well.
Yeah.
How'd you get started? Like, how'd you get the money to start trading, bro? Under like 18, I don't know. Like, what'd you do? Did you work a job? Did your parents like you tell you like
Correct. Yeah. So
how'd you get that?
freshman year of high school, this was back in 2021, I believe, right? I was pretty much like one of the first people like out of all my friends to like get a job. I got a job at a coffee shop. It's called Tim Hortons. Now, when you're under the age of 18, they have this thing called, I'm not sure if they have it in like Florida or everywhere else, but in Michigan, it's called a work permit. You have to go to school and everything. You have to give them the paper to sign, and then you got to take it back to
What's
the
the
job.
minimum age for a work permit? 14?
14 for us, yeah. So I got a job right when I was 14. Like I remember, it was like the next month, and I've been looking for that whole month. I turned 14. I got the job in March, and then I was just hustling. I was just working day in and day out and just learning. Because like I've always had that mentality, like if I'm just gonna try something out, I might as well just go all in and just try to win at it and be the best. So yeah, I got that job, saved as much money of it and capital as I could until I was finally able to like just settle on my own profits.
Yeah, I mean, it says a lot about a person too. Like when I was 14, I didn't think I was. I know I was kind of trying to hustle, but like I never really got a job till I was like 16, and I worked at Tillis, which is like a clothing store. But that's good that you went into a hustle off the start. I notice now it's more especially true like younger people are like trying to hustle more. Like we have another kid in the Discord, right? And he had like a $17,000 a day. And the guy's
Yeah.
like 15, 16. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like Ryan in the Discord. And this kid is like in California, gets up like at 6:30 to trade till like 8:30. Then he goes to school. Like,
That time.
I'm like, dude, I was thinking like when that was me when I was 14, 15, 16, oh, fuck that. I'm not doing any of that shit.
Yeah.
So it's good to see like the younger generations, like, they don't really care about like partying, going out, worrying about that bullshit, and they're trying to, get their money up.
Correct.
Um, what about for like a mindset, like if you had some mindset advice of like how you think about trading? Like for me, it's always like I think about trading is like I'm trying to study human emotions in the form of candlesticks. That's like what I like to tell people. Like, do you have any kind of like mindset advice you give somebody?
I have mindset advice
Or
for
if you have any tips, like like you wanted to like your main thing was like I want to follow my rules. Did
yeah.
you like write it down? Did you have some sticky notes on your computer? And all the people do that. Did you journal? Like how were you able to stick to your rules like the way you've been?
I would always journal every single trade that I've taken. I still do it to this day. Obviously now it's just on the computer, but back then it was like on an actual handwritten journal. I would just write down every trade, my entry, why I did it, even if it's a win or a loss. Especially if it's a loss, you need to journal that as well and keep track of everything. That way you can. The only way you would learn is if you look back on your previous trades and you see what you could have done better and what you did wrong, that's the only way you can learn is from feedback. Obviously, they say practice makes perfect, but it's somewhat true, but it's just what does make perfection is feedback. You need to analyze yourself and you need to analyze your trades and everything that you do. And then over time, you put all of those tips that you get from analyzing yourself, you put them all together, you connect the dots, and then it'll just show in the future. Like it'll work for you.
Yeah, a lot of times it's like that. Like you won't see the results right away, but then there's that work that you're doing that the journaling, following your rules. Like you'll slowly snowball, and like 6 months down the line, you're like, oh wow, I'm getting consistent results. I'm doing well, and you think it's something that like, oh, like something clicked like the last month. That you're like,
Yeah,
oh, I'm getting all these results now. But it's like in reality, it was like, no, all those months that you weren't getting results, you learned, and the learning is finally starting to pay off.
correct. Yeah, I agree.
Do you plan to go just like fully on live account at some point, or are you just gonna like you do like the copy trading? So a lot of people are on the fence about copy trading. Like a lot of people don't know if they should do it. Like you had a good experience so far.
Yeah, so for copy trading, I mean, I recommend everybody doing it because imagine you just hit a $500 trade on one account. You can just turn that into $10,000, $20,000 with multiple accounts that you've copy traded with it. So I feel like I'll always have my live account that I personally I want to scale my live account obviously to that's going to be like my most risk is definitely on my personal live account. I want to scale so that sooner or later, my normal trades are going to be like my average trade is going to be like $20,000, 50, and then sooner or later $100,000 per trade, right? Because that's what most people trading is infinitely damn. It's infinitely scalable, right? You can't just stop it. You just risk more and you'll make more, but you just need to take it slowly, right? So I want to scale that account, but I feel like I'll always keep prop firms with me because it's just extra money to add on top. Because why not?
No, and I mean, and then again, if you're just copy trading anyway, so it's like
Yeah.
it's not like you're doing any extra work or any like side work for it. Um, for when you were able to like from when you're able to scale, do you have like any rules on like or do you ever feel like I'm in a trade and you say it's a little too heavily? Like, how did you slowly scale it? Because I'm guessing you started off risking a couple micros when you first start trading, or like what were you risking now?
Now it's usually around just one mini.
So
I'm
you
not
do
on my
what's like an average stop loss for you, like 20, 30 points?
yeah from my prop firms. For my actual live accounts, it's a lot heavier than that now.
It's a
It's
lot
usually
heavier
around
because what?
I scale that because prop firms people think that they have a 50K account, then they have 50K to
Yeah,
trade with, but they don't. They just have like usually what is it 2K or two and a
the
half
three
thousand
percent
dollars.
drawdown, whatever, 3 to 4
Exactly.
percent drawdown.
And 3% drawdown on a prop firm account isn't like that's a lot, but on a live account, most people don't realize that's actually normal. Like over
Yeah,
time, it's fine to go 3% drawdown into your own live account because
all the
if
time.
you stick to your rules, you'll end up making it back. Now, I don't risk 3% obviously of my live account now. That's just it's too much for me, but it's usually around zero point 0.5 to 1% on my live accounts, and then on my prop firm accounts, it's pretty much also the same, but it's different percentages of the
Yeah,
minis
yeah,
that
because like, you gotta think about like you just said. People are like, oh, I have 50K. No, you don't. You really have like 4K. If you have a
exactly
4% draw, like you can't do more than minus 4K. So it's like you're
hmm
not you don't have 50K. That I do think it's like a really important misconception that you brought up that people don't understand like the way they're approaching it.
correct, yeah. So like even 1% on like a actual live funded account, that's a lot more than 1% of the prop firm account that you would trade with. So I definitely sized in heavier on my live accounts. And the way I do it is I don't just go like for example, September I had an amazing month, and then I wouldn't have just sized up my positioning just because I had one good month. I usually, if I want to size up my own personal accounts, I'd wait around 3 months of consistent, just going up and just 3 months of just consistent profits. From there, I would definitely try to size in heavier because if I size in heavier, let's say just after 1 month of September, and then I had the terrible week of October, then that wouldn't have shown to be beneficial for me. So I just wait definitely 3 months, and then if I look back at all my trades from my journaling and everything, if I look back at it and it was doing pretty good, I'll definitely try sizing in a bit heavier.
What about for your live account? Like when it comes to like paying yourself, do you like when you just do it whenever you feel like it, or you have some kind of rules like, hey, if I hit X
Yeah,
amount for the week, I'll withdraw it, or you just trying to like just let it build up?
honestly, for me at least, I know some people who don't trade prop firms. They don't they don't if they don't trade prop firms, then obviously you need to take a payout from your live account. But for me, I'm actually I've only taken one payout from my live account, and that was like 2 months ago. But ever since then, because I always copy trade prop firm accounts as well, and I get payouts from them. So from those accounts, I can just keep my own, and they'll go straight to my bank. And my live account, I'll just build it, so I can always just risk more and more on my live account. I just build them.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, no, that makes sense. I mean, I do a lot of the similar stuff. Like, unless I need really a lot of money, it's like
Yeah.
I'll let it build, and then whenever I'm in the mood, I'll just withdraw like whatever six figures, and I'll let it
Yeah.
keep
If I
stacking
have,
in there. Or if
I'll
like, or if the market dips, because I'm doing it on Thinkorswim, I'll move it to my investment accounts, and then I'll just buy like the dips on it, like
that's why I withdrew it like a month ago or a
Did
few
you
months.
also you starting to invest or you're investing, right? Like we gotta talk about that too. You're going on vacations, you have fun, buy shit, but like you gotta think about the future. Especially when you're young, it's the best time because like before you know it, you'll have this huge investment shit
Yeah,
account.
I have a few properties out in Louisiana, especially they're good. I mean, some people they don't like it or hate on. Some people hate on it or they think it's not good. But Section 8, in my opinion, it's good. Like you'll get consistent.
You do that
Yeah,
with your family or like how do you do that?
no, I invested it by myself because I'm 18 now. I'm above the law, so I mean above age limit, not above the
Yeah,
law.
but you're turning 19 soon, right?
Correct. Yeah, uh, 3 or 4 more months, and I'll be 19. Yeah. But essentially, it was a fourplex, my first ever investment. You just need 20% down, or actually, my, no, yeah, 20% down, or FDA. You can get an FDA loan for a fourplex and everything, and then from there you can just put the down payment, and you'll get consistent, rent paid for you, essentially. But that's for real estate. I'm not as heavy as I am into real estate into just long term into the market like the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, Nvidia, like all these different stocks that you can invest in long term. I have those. I'm more heavy into those than I am into real estate. But that's my own personal like
Yeah, I
portfolio.
mean, the thing with real estate is like people don't realize it's actually like a lot of work. Shit happens, you gotta get something fixed. Like it's a lot more work than it seems. Like, oh, I'm just gonna invest and I'm gonna get this like huge, a bunch of this money. It's like no, you
Yeah,
actually gotta put in a lot more work, and tenants can be a pain in the ass.
sure, that is true.
Well, I took about half an hour of your time, so I don't take up too much more. Is there any last words you have, advice, whatever, like things you're gonna do?
For advice, I always say this to everyone that I know, especially to men out there, because nowadays I'm not sure what's happening, but Um, I'd say develop an ego, like a massive ego. That's what I did starting out. Develop an ego, massive one, and then work every day as hard as you can to justify it, right? So that you don't come off as arrogant. Because if you wake up today, right, and you look around you and you're like, my life's going good. Like I'm the man. I'm a G, right? I'm the top 5%. I'm the top 1% of men out there. But then what's gonna happen is you're gonna start to feel motivated to prove it, right? It's not like the people who just have an ego with no justification to back it up whatsoever, they have something. Like I can agree, I can say they have something wrong with them, right?
Yep.
But if you wake up every single day for years and years and years, and you work and you make money and you buy cars, and let's say you get women and you train and you become in fantastic physical condition, and you do all these things to prove your ego, so that when someone comes along and they say, well, what's your problem? You say, I don't have a problem, my life's good, right? Well, then you're gonna live a very fantastic life. I'd like to argue if you don't have an ego and you're not all about me and what I am and who I am, well then why would you even care about your life, right? The people without an ego are the lazy people, in my opinion, right? I don't have a nice car, but I don't care. I'm not healthy, but I don't care. Like those people, I wouldn't surround myself with them. So I'd say develop an ego and work every day to justify it because it'll show and it'll motivate you to work harder on your life, especially as a man. You need to improve so you can protect and provide for everyone in your family around you. Yeah.
No, I agree. You gotta have a strong like self worth, and then you take everything you do in your life with serious. Gym, invest. Whatever you do for like money, career, relationship, everything in between. And a lot of times like people are like, hey, I want to fix the world around me. Like let's say that's your goal is like I want to fix some kind of issues around you. It's like how can you fix those issues if your life's fucked up too? If you have no means to like help yourself, you can help others. So I think like that's why I think it's important. Like I can go out and help my family, I can go out and help other people that I care about. But if I, let's say, had no money, I had no way to do anything, how can I even help others? So I always
Exactly.
tell people, take care of yourself first, and then you'll be in a better position to help others. It's almost like at the airplane, in an airplane, they always like
The
play
oxygen.
that. Yeah, the auction. They always say put on yours first and then help others. Because if you
Yeah.
like try to right away help others, you're like, oh fuck, I don't have auctions. Then you start panicking yourself. You can help them, and then they die, and then you die too.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
like it's kind of like that mindset. It was really really good. Well, I appreciate you for coming on. I'm really proud of you the way you've been killing it. We're happy you're part of our community. I hope you're gonna keep crushing it. We'll stay updated with you. I appreciate everybody for watching. So we'll see you guys in the next video.